followed by Ms. Jensen. Gord?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Siddell, I know the government's celebrating the 4,777 units for the Rapid Housing Initiative. I'm sorry, I live in Courtenay-Alberni, and we have lost so many people every week to suicide, overdose, substance abuse, health-related issues from being homeless. And, right now with the isolation and the marginalization of people due to COVID, people are struggling. They can't deal with their mental, physical, emotional, spiritual, or economic health if they have nowhere to go. And they were counting on a rapid housing application. And we know the provinces in BC's building half the non-market housing in this country. But when they got rejected, we know that the rejection means people are dying. So what percentage of people that are homeless in this country will that first round cover? And secondly, sorry, this is very emotional for me. Did you ask the minister to top up the amount that was asked for? Because it's my understanding that the requests that were in were fivefold for what was delivered.
I'm happy to respond to that question, and I'm very sorry about this. Needless to say, at CMHC we share in the tragedy and the fact that the pandemic has made things worse for homeless people and has likely increased the number of homeless people. I don't know the number you're looking for. We did receive applications for about 4.5 times the project stream, which is half of the amount, $500 million, and therefore we had to say no to many more than we said yes. And we are hoping for more money under the Rapid Housing Initiative.
Did you go back to the minister and say, we've got a fivefold, application, to the envelope that was open? Will you top it up, given that we're in a crisis? Because we can find hundreds of billions of dollars for supports for people, but the homeless, we found $1 billion.
Yeah,
that's it.
The minister has all this information. He then would submit a request to the Minister of Finance for the budget, and that's between them. That's not my decision.
Just to put this on record, a House It Nation, where I live, 48 people have died. Heshquit, 18, a tiny little First Nation, not one of them from COVID. Almost all young people, all preventable. I'm sorry to have so much anger, but these are preventable lives that could have been saved. I'm going to switch to, Mr. Julian and I put out several calls starting in April about establishing an emergency program. And when the secret program was announced and eventually turned into the CERS program, we asked the government several times to backdate support for businesses who needed assistance because they couldn't access it for a number of reasons. Like it was strangely created where first you had to have a mortgage backing it. And then secondly, if your landlord didn't apply, you were exempt. Is there like an obstacle, a reason why the government can't backdate it? Because those people that didn't get help, they're going out of business right now.
Yeah, I can't give you an answer to why it can't be. That's a question for others. I can tell you that CMHC we have no ability to do retail type distribution, and we went through mortgages because our relationship is with landowners. It's with owners, and that was a program we actually could give effect to. And the government at the time, as I recall, was having a hard time trying to find a way to deliver a program. Since happened through CRA and in presumably what you think is a better way. But we were scrambling to try and get something that actually worked, and that was the constraint in which we were working.
Right, and then it got figured out, and we kicked and screamed, and the government finally figured it out. So they figured it out, but now they won't backdate it for those people that got excluded. Why?
I can't answer that question. That's not within my expertise.
Okay. Now the handling of the contract on the Canada Emergency Rent Subsidy Program to MCAP. What was the process for that? The company that engages in commercial mortgages to receive the Canada Emergency Rent Subsidy Program and administrative contract, it was an $84 million contract. And how was the stipulation that was put in place for that? Originally, of course, it was for rent assistance that was tied to commercial mortgages, as I outlined. So there's a clear conflict of interest. Could we get information in a reply on how that contract was given?
I think we've disclosed this. We talked to, so realize this had to happen very quickly, and CMHC didn't have the ability to do it. We engaged in a competitive process with 2 firms, and we selected the low bidder.
Have you had any
And they
discussions
were,
with the government, who would have been best suited for the program? Like, I mean, obviously, the concerns politically around this.
yeah, we selected the two firms that we thought had the capacity to do it. It was a very technical process and required expertise. It required risk management, and these were the two firms that could do it, and that's why we went to them. The fact that they're in the business, you would say presents a conflict, but if we went to somebody otherwise, they couldn't do the job.
Last question, Gord.
Okay, Ms. Coates, your organization is a fairly new one. Thank you for the work you're doing, by the way, that's organized as a direct result of the pandemic. And I'm working with other organizations that are in similar situations, certainly startups that are being ignored and that have been abandoned, and sole proprietors such as that have had difficult barriers to get access to programs. Can you talk about your communication with government and how responsive they've been to your needs and concerns?
Ms. Coates?
Thank you for that question. We have had many meetings with members of parliament and senior policy advisors and a few ministers. We are not getting the answers that we would like. We're being told that we are, with regards to commission recalls, we're being told that we are being considered, but we aren't being told when that will happen or how we are being considered. So we're concerned and have a lot of anxiety that we are still going to be falling through those cracks.
Thank you. Thank you all.